My mic wasn't on. That's better, isn't it? Hello, everybody. How you doing tonight? Today, whatever time zone you're in. I'm not entirely sure where you live. I know where some of you live. Dora, I see you enjoying the beaver there. No pun intended. Anyways, here, let me turn the mic up a little bit. The biggest complaint I usually get is I'm not loud enough, so we'll just make sure the mic's got a little bit of juice on it here. That's about usually a little better. Check, check. Seems a little low. Whoop, what did I just hit? Well, I liked a video, so there you go. I have liked a video. I've passed it along. We're all one in the same group here. I'm just making sure my volume really is high enough on the mic. I'm just checking. Check. Tell me if you think you need it higher. Maybe I need to turn this one up a little bit. That'll be better. A little output better? Okay, that's better. Hey, let's see. I see Mr. Andrat. I got NANA. Mark Beaver. I don't know how to pronounce that. I think I'm screwing it up. I would say Beaver. Ooh, that's hard. 204. Hey, buddy. How's it going? I'm just doing solo right now. I'm not really set up for other people or anything like that. So don't worry. We'll get you on, buddy. We'll get you on. James Collins, how you doing, buddy? Warren Evans, we got way off topic. Hey, Frank, are we podcasting later, Frank? Are we recording a podcast? I sent you a message, but I guess I didn't see if you got back to me. 199, Robert Williams, to take to the dance at the Copacabana. Nice. You saw my nice Copa notice. That's okay. I'm putting 13 plus on my thumbnails now, too. Maybe that'll make it more distinct. But anyways, yeah, Robert Williams, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Remember, everybody, you guys can get in on heists. You can get in on gamble. I don't know what it is about gambling. Some of you people do very well. Some of us do terrible. I know that when I'm on UNDERAGE's channel, I haven't won a gamble yet. So I don't think I have. Way off topic, yes. Well, send me a message. Pick a time. Make sure it's late, but not super late. I don't, 11 o'clock. 10 o'clock, my time even, whatever, it works. Sent me a message. Well, there you go. I haven't looked at shit. So, wait a minute. We're just talking here. We got none of that sexy-ass music. I've set this all up. You got this picture over there, and you're not even listening to stuff. Let's see what the volume level's at, though. That's a little high. Whoa, bring you down. Oh, it's not even coming through. There it is. Yeah, that's better. Chucky McNubbin, love the name again, buddy. Hey, Brady Beaver, buddy, how's it going? My main Beaver dude. I'm up early to catch the stream. Where are you out of, Chucky? You've told me this, but I can't remember, buddy. Mark Beiser, you have 4 points. You just can't seem to get a hold of points. I'm gonna tell you a secret, Mark. There's way more profits in the heists than there is in the gambling. Gambling's almost something you do when you got a lot of points. Cause I don't even gamble on UNDERAGE's channel. I just do heists. You got a way better chance of your friend getting left behind than you. I mean, it's a 50% chance if anybody even has a problem that you get caught, and you don't get out of the heist. Yeah, he's starting a heist, buddy. Is that gonna work? Yeah, Mark's throwing a heist together, guys. Get in on it. Join Mark on the heist. All right, we got 41 people watching. You didn't come here to listen to me ramble, but we'll do this for another minute or two, and then we'll get into maybe some Phuket, driving around and being Phuket. Any of you ever watched... Oh, that was a little loud. That spiked into the red. Sorry about that. Any of you ever seen Phuket? You know what I'm talking about here. Let's see. We got Phuket. Just driving around talking about bullshit. You know, that old... Australia. Oh, you're an Australian. Got up early. Let me think. What time is it there? Yeah. What time is it there? Aren't you like... Hey Google, what time is it in Australia? Woo! 6 a.m., eh? Well, there you go. You're out of bed. Anyways, as you can see, I use my Google. I'm a Google host. That said, Phuket was driving around. He was talking about tubes of water and all kinds of shit, and I thought it'd be fun to kind of maybe poke at him a bit and do what we do best. So, I'll turn this volume down for me, too. It's great that I turned it down for you, but then I got music blasting in my ears here. Can't even think. On UNDERAGE channel, I won 40K on a 10K slot bet. Well, don't get me wrong, I lose every time. I try to put down like 1,000, it's like, you lost. Just every time, so. If you get 99 or 100, I think you get like 4 times or 8 times, or it's massive anyways, so. 47 people in here. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. We're gonna get started here. We're gonna watch some Phuket Word, talk about some nonsense, and we're gonna kind of like slowly pick apart his argument as he goes. And we're just gonna listen to Phuket be Phuket, because that's what he does best. And yeah, remember, if you're gonna try to mention something to me, try to put Brainy Beaver in the comment. That way it pops out at me, if you can, please. And, oh, this is a good song that just came on. Let's see if it's coming in. Oh yeah, it's just a little low though. Here. Boop, 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 boop. See, and this is what I was talking about. I think. Oh no, I'm pumping it through a different source. So I still can't show you the planet dancing to the music. It's very pretty. Here, let's get some Phuket going on here. Okay, so he's already up there. So let me get the video. All right, Phuket time.
Hello, Flat Earth researchers, debaters and debunkers. Just having some thoughts about the whole globe Earth belief.
For no reason, I didn't see that yet. I'll have to take a look. Sometimes I'm in and out of Twitter for short. I'm in for short bursts and out for short bursts, and you know what I mean. So, John Sledesky? It's a nice name. How do I pronounce the first part of it? I got the Dlesky part. I got it down. Warren Evans, how can he explain those satellite dishes? Oh, no. He doesn't do the satellite dishes. We're getting to the satellite dishes. That's another guy. This is going to be fun. Don't worry.
And as always, trying to kind of consider where
Phuket just does what Phuket does. He would never want to point out anything that is too, like, debunkable. He's just going to drive through Thailand, I think is where he lives, I guess. Phuket, essentially, you know, Phuket Sound. That's a city, isn't it? But anyways, yeah, he's just gonna drive through the countryside and do what Phuket does best. He's gonna try to talk as much nonsense as possible while giving as little detail as actually possible, and just like he would never want to show you something because you'd rip it apart, right? He's just gonna try to make you visualize it and sound like he knows what he's talking about.
Ways in which people can be helped to understand how someone who realizes we're not on a spinning ball Earth can actually arrive at that understanding. Now, of course, we are taught to think that we're quite smart for being able to perceive ourselves from this kind of external frame of reference, and we are taught to believe that
Sidlesky. Okay, there you go.
We're kind of being
I got it, buddy. I got it.
humble in a way. We are humbling ourselves with this ability to understand that, oh, we are just
No. Okay, everybody's okay. Sorry, Warren Evans, guys. Everybody, sorry. Maybe I should make this clear. He isn't talking about satellite dishes. He's just gonna talk globe proofs because that's all Phuket does. Every once in a while, he'll talk about things like dishes and stuff like that, but Phuket just likes to talk about nothing. He likes to talk about how we can't see with our eyes. That here, okay, so here, I'll do a Phuket impression here. I'll do a Phuket impression. We perceive things with our eyes in ways that we, so then we surmise that it's a globe, but in reality, we can't really tell that it's a globe. We make these predictions based on pseudoscience, and people believe it. They cling to this globe. All you got to do is just keep saying fucking nothing for an entire, sometimes it's an hour. It's really actually an impressive feat. I'm kind of doing the same thing right now, but with meaning. Whereas him, it's either he's the greatest poet in the world or he's just really, really dumb. I mean, that's the sad part. I mean, some of these people, I kind of feel sorry for them if this is really their level of understanding, I guess. So, how are you supposed to ever think, he talks about an ant on a globe here, and how are you ever supposed to think better than an ant if you just keep thinking like an ant? So, I mean, they like to think that they're better, but, here we are.
Kind of a minute ant-like creature on the surface of the Earth, and then all those amongst all those billions of
Yeah, I'll
people,
take a look
and
for
we're
no
just a
reason. Don't worry, I'll
speck
take a
among
peek.
billions of other planets or whatever. Of course, it's a mistake to, in the
Just want to make sure my mic comes through here. Check. Yeah, that's working.
first place, think that we are on another planet. But what it is it's actually the globe Earth belief is a very egocentric thing. Whereas someone who realizes that we're not on a globe simply because of observations is able to see.
Oh, Robert Williams, that was American money. Oh my goodness. I was like, how? I was like, it says I have 260. I was like, when did I get another super chat? And I was sad to go check the currency type, and it's like, oh, I got those sweet, sweet American greenbacks.
See things literally from another person's
That's
perspective.
before YouTube takes their cut.
So think about this, if you're, the idea we're given of what we see when we look across the Earth, if we draw a circle and we see someone, it's either illustrated as someone looking into a bulge of curvature.
What?
Well, that's pretty much about it, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, that's the way it has to
I
be.
think his own mental process ran into a wall there. He didn't even know where to go with his own argument. And you're right. Look at that dish right there. I mean, like, okay, so you tell me. So where's that dish pointed? Like, is there a tower up there? Because the other thing is, a lot of people think that it actually points this way, and actually it's pointing like this way. Because the way it works is this cone points to the dish, and the dish is the receiving point. So what happens is when you're in, see, like down where I live, you're pointed quite low on the horizon, but in because I'm northern, you're pointed more like the dishes almost face like this. In fact, in some cases I've seen where dishes are pointed down a little bit, and that's how I learned that. I'm like, how the hell does that work? And it's like, well, that's not where the signal's coming from. It's coming from the top and it's bouncing off the dish, right? So in this case, if you actually look at this dish here, what you actually end up having is you have the signal coming down from like above them, and that makes sense because a lot of the satellites are centered around equatorial regions and stuff like that, right? So hence why in the northern climates we tend to point a lot more horizontally, because we're pointing along the globe length. And not only that, when we catch the signal, our dishes are a lot smaller than yours are, actually. Even like the direct TV dishes that we're all familiar with, not these dishes even, but like the smaller direct TV ones and stuff, like the digital TV, they're actually half the size of the ones that they use down in or was it the opposite? No, I think that's the way it is, because the signal spreads out more, and then I guess when you're down in the southern climates, it's a lot more of a tight band, just like the way the sun hits, the same thing. It doesn't spread out as much, so I guess it's also harder to lock onto the satellite too, because it doesn't spread out the signal as much. But either way, the signal right here is coming from directly above, is actually the reality. So I mean, unless you've got some sort of like tower line hanging over the top of this baby, that is something that's hard for them to work with already.
Illustrated.
That'll be that. This, don't worry. The satellites is the next video, guys.
Isn't it? Or even if you are a person illustrated on top of the globe, or just a circle, if it's illustrated on paper, then of course you're told that you're looking down. We don't actually look straight ahead. Now, fair enough,
I don't know what
if
the
you
fuck
want
he's
to
talking
say
about right
that, your eyes aren't good enough to be spot on with looking directly ahead, and you can say your eyes are drawn to the horizon, which, if you take a photograph and that camera is level, that horizon will be at...
See, so what is it? Chucky McNubbin, that's pretty spot on. Sat dishes in Victoria and Tasmania point more northerly. Yeah, so that would make sense, because they're starting to get to the other side of the globe, right? And then again, the farther you go, the more horizontal they start pointing, because there's no satellites above some, like, they just don't, it just doesn't work. Okay, so like, you know how it works, because if you're trying to hit everybody, your best bet is to try to put it in more of an equatorial region. The problem with hitting, if we were having to, like, for instance, if we were pointing north, well, how the hell is it staying in geosynchronous orbit? is kind of the problem. We don't rotate north or south kind of thing. So that's the thing that's, because they'll say things like, what, it just stays there for years? It's like, well, yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say to you. They put little tiny thrusters on them, and they have attitude control. And, if they lose a kilometer per hour out of their, 30,000, 40,000 kilometers an hour, whatever speed they're going at in geosynchronous, they just put a little speed into it, add a little bit more. But there's not a lot of resistance up there, so there's not a lot of reason for them to lose a ton of speed. The space station has a bit more of an issue because it's because of that gradient that they don't really like, that whole pressure inside a vacuum thing, because it is a gradient. So there is molecules that just continue past the space station. They get thinner and thinner and thinner at a very aggressive level, but they're not in a pure vacuum. They're being basted with Earth's molecules being washed over top of them as they sweep by it. So the reality is that the space station is constantly having to correct its attitude. It's managed by Boeing. Boeing has a command center where they just sit there and watch it. And of course, most of it's automated, but like, it even moves out of the way of objects. They'll predict in advance that it's going to come too close to a satellite, and they'll apply thrusters, and they'll move the thing very gently, because anybody who knows much about, if you play Kerbal Space Program, you'll start to get that pretty quick. You don't need much to make a big distance, as long as you got advance notice. Space is a big place. But let's listen to Phuket talk some nonsense some more. He's good at that.
What you can call eye level in the center of the camera's field of view. All right, there is no denying that if you have the camera, say, 1 or 2 meters off the ground.
Do me a favor, everybody, hit like. 75 people in here. Some of you guys showed up late. Hit like for me. Let's try to get those likes up.
Across a flat surface, whether it's the sea or whatever, or if you want to say that it's a locally flat surface, where everything converges, where the sky and the surface appear to converge in the center of your field of view when you're looking straight ahead, is pretty much that's eye level. Okay, if you want to argue about degrees, there's no way you can actually do anything to prove that. You can only assume it. So, given that, the whole thing though is that
he gets to something pretty disprovable.
Your understanding from this is that regardless of, you're kind of ignoring the way perspective actually allows us to see things. It just, it looks flat, so it is. So, but, you rarely ask the question, why does it look flat? Well, because you look across a flat surface, and if you look directly across a flat surface, that surface will appear to...
This is the word salad. This is what makes me smile right now, is that I'm just listening to him just pull out answers. He's just, because of course it looks flat. You're tiny. Come on, buddy. But he's getting to he gets to a perspective thing with a tube and water. And this is where I start to wonder if he's a Poe, because I mean, the misunderstanding that he puts towards gravity and our model is scary. And the thing is, no wonder, if he really does think that that's our model, then no wonder he's so confused, because he has zero understanding. He gets into water and pressure, and it's fantastic as far as I'm concerned, because he basically answers his own questions with his, and you'll see he spins in circles, but it's great, because he could probably answer his own questions if you just sit down and think about it. But he tells us that's what we're not doing.
Be at your eye level. There's a point where there is, a horizon where everything, the surface in front of you ends up getting more and more condensed until the entire surface in front of you just doesn't go any higher in your field of view, because it is flat. It takes up half of your field of view. In fact, this is a natural thing that tells us...
He does a crap Captain Kirk impression, because he's constantly thinking about his lines. I mean, yeah, of course, if the ISS stopped, it would just fall, right? But that's actually not what's slowing the ISS down, because it's... if you're in a frictionless environment, the gravity isn't going to matter. You'd essentially, I believe, unless I'm wrong, somebody correct me, but as long as you were actually in a true frictionless environment, which was a pure vacuum, you would spin like that forever unless some other force slowed you down. But but it's not in a frictionless environment. It's in a wash of particles from our atmosphere. So the thing is, it's yeah, like they have this imagination like there's some sort of line, like it's almost like the thermocline when you dive in scuba diving, where there's like this line where it's like right here you could breathe and you'd be like ah, all the air leaves your lungs, sucks you dry, you float away. Like it's I don't understand how they, it's just like, okay, so there was 3 psi without even using decimals. There's 3 psi, and then we had 2 psi, and then it was 1 psi, and then we'll get into a decimal. We'll say, and then it was 0.5 psi, and then and then it was 0.2 psi, and then it was 0.1 psi, and then it was 0.05 psi. Like, you see where I'm going with this, right? Like, the logical direction for this to go is to keep going down until eventually you get to a true zero, like absolute zero. But again, like this idea that suddenly, but again, this is where the religion part starts to come in, because that's where the dome starts to come in. And I have a really hard time with the dome argument. I had a guy in a comment, he was telling me that there's documentation showing that America put a dome over Antarctica at 13,000 feet. And I'm like, that's cool. He's like, I can email them to you. Donated $2. Tim Davidson, thank you. Don't tell, but I'm Illuminous Pooh's secret identity. Oh, you're Illuminous Pooh. There you go. Wait, shh. I wasn't supposed to tell anybody. Damn it, they're coming for you. Run. The Flurfers are on their way. They found out who you are. Yeah, they he was saying a dome at 13,000 feet, and that's fantastic. I said, that's some great information. He said, I'll email you the PDFs. I said, that's great. And then I never got any emails. I gave him my email. I didn't get any PDFs. That's really interesting. He said they're easily findable on the internet, but then I didn't receive said PDFs. That would have been fun. I was really looking forward to that. I did get that poster that somebody sent me for Nathan Thompson's poster. So I might, that's something that we should look at maybe. But anyways, I said back to the guy, my argument back was, we have a hard time building domes without support structures for, like, a stadium. That would be a really interesting feat to put something, 2.5 miles in the sky, or just over 2 miles in the sky. And I'm just curious, like, what kind of support structure does this thing use? Like, how did they lift it? What kind of weight are we talking about for a dome that would be 13,000 feet in the air and cover an area sufficient enough to be like fool anybody? It's referring to the dome-shaped mountain. Oh my God, are you serious? Holy shit. That's so stupid. You just melted my brain. Is that what he was talking about? Robert Williams, he's talking about some sort of dome-shaped mountain there? Okay. Well, that got more entertaining immediately just now. That's hilarious. Okay, well, apparently there's your piece of information. The guy was talking about some sort of dome-shaped mountain because he said it's like recorded. You can see the Americans like the documents recording it. And then of course they throw out that typical other one. Which one was it? It's you see the one where it says it's like a military document talking about, I think it's talking about aiming, and it's talking about how the Earth should be presumed to be flat, though. In one video, he replies to Bob the Science Guy saying that the horizon should always be in the middle of the photo. Next photo, he says the complete opposite. Oh, I know. You're talking about Phuket here, I bet. But yeah, no, this... Anyways, this other guy in the comments section, it was fantastic. It was just like, I mean, what would that weigh? What kind of structure are we talking about? What did they build it out of? Like, how would you, like, do they honestly think we have the technology to build a massive crystal or glass dome without any sort of, like, wires or support structures, no towers sitting up? Like, you can't even build a fucking house without having support beams in the middle of it, for God's sakes. Who doesn't have a house? I got 2 of them right here. There's 1, 2. They covered them in wood to make them look pretty, but you know what they are. They're those fucking metal posts that they just have in the basement, holding the roof up, like holding the entire story up above us up. Okay. That's fine. Moving on.
which way is up. You know, it's obvious. You know, it helps us balance.
Well, that's the thing. What's the dome made out of? As soon as he said that, I thought of. Don't worry, I'll get a clip for you. I'll tell you. I'll show you what I thought of when they. As soon as they say anything about a dome, I got this perfect.
However, that aside, what we are told to believe or perceive when we're looking at a horizon is that the horizon is, as I mentioned earlier, it could either be considered as a bulge, which is kind of ridiculous. Let's just go with the idea that it is curving away. That seems to be the most commonly accepted idea, because we've got looking at things that appear to drop in the distance. That's the claim. You can't see the bottom of the ship because it's dropped down the curvature. Okay, so let's just go with this assumption that when you look across a locally flat surface, you are seeing some kind of curve down from your perspective. Okay, so that means basically that if you then put yourself in someone else's shoes, that is someone who is beyond your horizon and below your original horizon, that person is at a lower elevation than you. Doesn't matter how you want to illustrate it, doesn't matter how you want to perceive the Earth as a spinning ball in space, that doesn't matter. Even if you want to say, well, you know, there is no down in space, the thing is we're talking about on the Earth, our direct experience as human beings on this Earth with the physics, with the actual physics that governs.
Like, he didn't even finish the sentence there. He didn't even... Like, did he...
Spinning ball in space. Doesn't matter how you want to perceive the Earth as a spinning ball in space. That doesn't matter. Even if you want to say, well, you know, there is no down in space, the thing is we're talking about on the Earth, our direct experience as human beings on this Earth with the
Yeah, see, like, Chuck and McNubbin says, Brainy Beaver, the dome on the White House, the Holy See in the Italy, the dome in the Basilica all needed to be reinforced after construction because domes have a natural tendency to... I cannot see the rest of that comment. Chucky. Oh, you had to wait, didn't you? Spread at the base due to gravity. Yeah, that's the same little nugget of annoyance for flat earthers. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's just such a ridiculous sentiment that you'd have. It's domes are inherently unstable. And what's funny is that they were better at building them in the past than we are at now. One of the other arguments I saw recently was that, you know, all the ancient societies thought we had a flat Earth with a dome over the top of it, and they were so much smarter than us. And I'm like, I guess, I mean, you could probably try to cure some diseases with leeches if you want to still, because that argument to me is stupid. But you know, hey. And the other thing is, like, recently I had another guy talking to me about actually that video is think coming up here actually, so hold on, you'll see that. He compared India's space program to a trash can, which I think is unfair, because let's see him do it.
Physics, with the actual physics that governs our existence. So you're looking across a large vista, whatever it might be, a flat plane or water.
I hate it when things spread at the base, don't you, Chucky McNubbin?
Or whatever, it doesn't matter, or even, you know, something that eventually gets so small you can't see it, and it's, you know, just there. Everything becomes part of the horizon. But essentially, what you believe is happening in your vision is that at the limit of your vision, where everything appears to curve, the Earth is curving away from you. So anyone who you can't see, or even maybe you can see them, but half their body is cut off by the horizon. So what you're basically implying is that the person's feet that you can't see because of your personal horizon are below, physically lower than your feet. Okay? So whether that's 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, 10 miles, doesn't matter because the physics doesn't change. So what's happening is, you know, if that person, let's say they could appear to be a meter lower elevation than you. So if you ran a tube or a pipe or whatever of water from your elevation, could be whatever, waist height, head height, from your feet, doesn't matter, to the other person's feet who appears
Well, we gotta hear him cough for a second first, guys.
to be lower than you.
Why would you put any sort of editing into
Then
this,
the
right?
water will run to that person. The physics dictates that this person at a lower elevation, regardless of how you suddenly want to jump out of this reference frame and consider it as being a ball in space, doesn't matter, because we're talking about reality. We're not talking about models.
Hey, this is what I was thinking about when I was thinking about whenever they think about domes. I was thinking about Futurama and the diamondium shield they put up to try to stop the aliens from getting to the planet. And then when they get there, they punch right through it. It's like, oh, my non-breakable diamondium shield. And the other side is arguing with them, saying they should use diamondidium instead of diamondium. Stupid shit. That's coming. Don't worry.
We're not talking about perception or, you know, the ability to see yourself as being on a globe. We are talking about the physics of reality.
No, I know that they still use all kinds of things medically. I also understand what the maggots are for, but Mr. Andrat, really? Like, even now they still actually do. I've heard of them doing it. I just didn't know to what extent and in what countries. But, like, so if you get enough... So you're telling me that if you get enough dead flesh on, like, a person from something, that you will still use maggots. I assume you're some sort of medical professional? I've used maggots medically, not leeches. That's interesting. 204 $10. Jesus, you don't have to do that's so nice of you. For stupid people, always entertaining. That's fun. Thank you, buddy. 204. If you haven't, he does a lot of. There's my screaming beaver. He does some boom. I think it's a boom beach, or is it? Shout yourself out in the comments there. But anyways, he does Boom Squad or something on YouTube off his phone. So. Check him out. Take a look if you're into video gaming. That's something worth checking out. If you're not, then you're not. So I know that when I stream games, I lose subscribers. So, we'll see how many people want to pop over there and take a look at him. But otherwise, that is that for him. Lost Anna. Maggots are an amazing thing. They help save lives and limbs. Now, I get the purpose of the maggots. They let those little guys in there and they go to town on all the dead flesh, and then they don't eat living flesh, is I think the thing. And then they just wash out the wound and stuff like that. But pentagram. Okay. Anyways, okay. Keep it moving.
Physics of someone being physically lower than you at a lower elevation, a lower altitude, whatever. Downhill, essentially. And that's it. That's all.
We got diamondillium is far greater. This comment may or may not have been paid for by the Farnsworth Institute for Scientific Research and Advancement in name of money. In the name of money. And then we got a Luminous Poo. Thanks for the $2 super chat. Anyone claiming to be me was mistaken. Saved it. There you go, buddy.
What you've got to think about is because the thing is, if you go and be that
Boom
other
Beach.
person, they're going to see the same thing.
204 plays Boom Beach. If you guys like Boom Beach, if you're into phone games, check him out. He streams fairly frequently, to be honest with you. I saw his list. And just so everybody knows, I'm going to very quickly be streaming to multiple platforms here. I'm just working out the whole Stream.io thing. I got 7 hours left before I get a stream key, I guess as long as they give me one for Mixer. Twitch, I already have an account. I've never streamed there, so I guess that'll be interesting. And where else? D Live. I'm on D Live as well, but I haven't done any streaming in any of these other platforms except for YouTube. So fairly soon I'm going to be saturating the airwaves with this sexy face, just so everybody's aware.
When they look at you, they're going to see that you're lower. You're at a lower elevation. But
Well,
the way you
okay, so the problem is, I mean, we all know this. We're all here for the same reason. He's talking about, Phuket here is saying that, like, I think he's gotten to the point. I wasn't paying enough attention to him. I listened to him already once here, so for me, I was spacing out a bit. He's saying that, you know, because when you look at somebody else, their feet are down, and that means that they're technically below you. And so that if you put water in a tube, basically it should pour to them. But then he says, but to them, your feet are below them. So then he says, what's going to happen then? So then the middle is higher than you both. So then water should just pool at both ends, like at both of you, like you're holding the tube, and the water will just come to you because the middle's higher. But I mean, if you've got a long enough tube to do that experiment, and it is perfectly level, then that water's just going to be level. I mean, let's face it, we all know it. But I think he's disingenuous myself. I think that he gets views. I mean, look at this video. It gets 3,233 views in a day. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm a little jealous he can get that many views off of this kind of garbage.
see them is that they are at a lower elevation. Hang about. It doesn't work, does it?
Here it is. See?
How can you both be lower than each other? Well, if you were both lower than each other and you had a tube of water in between, then okay, the water would...
That's probably not far from true, to be honest with you. I mean, I could believe it. Chucky McNubbin says, Phuket Word moved to Thailand because his brand of stupid saw him unemployed in England. I can get behind that. I can believe it. I'm on board for that.
Maybe gather at each end and there would be a gap of water in the middle.
See? I mean, Phuket, buddy, if you're watching, and I know you're not, but if you do watch this, if somebody cuts this out, hands it to you, puts you a soundbite, you're wrong. You don't understand how gravity works, and you're trying to talk like you do, or you do understand how gravity works, and you're a fucking liar. So it's one of those.
Either way, you can do a thought experiment, or you can do it on a meter or 10 meters. The physics doesn't change. Now, it's funny because I had someone show me a thing about how the Romans did their aqueducts. And
I don't know what he's talking about here.
Their claim was that water goes uphill. Well, yes, it does, because what happens is so the guy has this tabletop thing where he's got the main...
If anybody in the comments knows what he's talking about, I am more than happy for you to inform me about this, because you're going to hear some bullshit right here. And he talks about how something about the water pouring down to the Roman aqueducts into a reservoir, and then that reservoir going through a tube to a higher point, and then anyways... But I mean, okay, so he's talking about a gravity feed system where the water pours into a reservoir and then it just lifts. It naturally lifts because you're filling up a reservoir from a higher position. But I guess whoever made this argument to him he's either lying about the actual argument being made, or he didn't understand it, or the person making the argument might have been stupid too. It's possible.
Reservoir on one end of the table, and he gets and there's a reservoir, and it's high up, and then there's a tube going from that reservoir to another reservoir, and the second reservoir is about half the height of the first one, or maybe 2/3 the height, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's slightly lower than the top of the other one, but it is still elevated from the top of the table. Yeah, do you see what I mean? So two ends. One funnel end is high, and the other funnel end is lower. But obviously, both of these things are on a tabletop, so they're both higher than the tabletop. So when the guy pours in this wine into the one on the left-hand side, the tall one, the tall funnel, and then sent it down the tube, along the table.
He's not talking about, Andrad, he's not talking about, like whoever was talking to him was either wrong in the way he described it to Phuket, or he was Phuket's misunderstanding what he was trying to describe, maybe. Because, I mean, let's face it, I mean, all he's talking about is, I mean, the same thing that happens in a toilet when you flush a toilet. I mean, you've got basically an air gap, and it fills up and the pressure just pushes it through. After that, you get a siphon effect. But, I mean, he's just talking about the weight of water. You know what I mean? I think he's talking about because it feeds from a higher point into a reservoir, and as that reservoir fills up, it, like, builds up to a point where it pours into the next thing. That's a fair point if the guy was trying to make a point that was water going uphill. That was kind of stupid of him. But I have a suspicion that Phuket is doing what he does best, and he's misrepresenting what this person had been saying to him, probably purposefully.
Along the tube, there's this aqueduct, and then, of course...
Hey, Dick, how you doing, Holman? Dick Holman, how you doing, buddy?
A little bit. To the reservoir, the second reservoir, which isn't, of course, as high as the first reservoir, but what you have is water going uphill. You know? But so this was basically the way this Glober
I can get behind him on this
tried
part.
to say, well, look, water goes uphill.
That's a dumb argument. Fair enough.
But of course, it's just such a straw man argument because
103 people in here. Hit like if you haven't, please. Do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button.
The water isn't going uphill any higher than where you first put it in. It's still lower. And it's just like, these are the kind of ridiculous arguments these sophists have got to come up with. Because they know. All they have is a model of excuses and explanations. A model that does not fit reality in any way, shape, or form whatsoever.
I mean, Phuket, if you don't understand how actual reality works, then that's not our problem. That's your problem. I mean, this is the issue. You sit here and talk about, like, we're wrong with our assumptions of reality, but then you explain to us how you believe the globe should work, and it's wrong. So, I mean, it's one thing to try to disprove our model, but it's another thing when you can't argue on our model. Like, I know your model. It's pretty simplistic. But you apparently failed to grasp our model, and then you try to tell us how our model works. That's just not going to work. The first thing you need to do is understand what you're trying to disprove. And then once you understand it, then you can disprove it. You can't go the other way around, Phuket. You don't get to work around this. And you talking word salad for as long as you do isn't going to defend you here. I mean, to be honest with you, the only people that are really buying into this are the people that were stupid enough to buy into it anyways. So, I guess that's who he's serving, though, isn't it? So really, I guess I'm just kind of blowing piss into the wind, probably, really.
They say it's a model that represents reality. No! And even if...
Okay, so what we got here? We got... Yeah. He's actually right about, John Sadesky. He's actually right about the aqueduct, but not that he's thinking it... But not what he's thinking it is. He has to do with how you push water up along the duct. Yeah, I mean... The person who was making the argument to him probably is making a different argument. I have a suspicion that Phuket is misrepresenting the argument at hand here. And that sounds like Phuket. Look, there's a tree right here. Do you see this? Like right here? There's a tree that literally is right along the cut line. And it looks like that tree is the point where, I disappear. Like, there's, Narnia. So, holy shit, it's Mr. Tumlin! Buddy! But, Mr. Tumlin! No, come back! That's my sock! That's where the socks have been going. So anyways, I just thought it was funny. It's just like... I know, pathetic and stupid. Unable to connect to chat. What the hell just happened? Okay, everybody, I've apparently lost the chat stream. I don't even know if I'm online. It says excellent connection. Here, I'm going to refresh this window. If you're talking to me, I can't see you. 1 second, everybody. Boom. All the dad joke comments are coming in. Anyways, moving forward.
If you want to talk about flat earth models, then no. What we have is reality.
Oh, wait a minute. I never got to your comment, buddy. I saw you. Mark Beiser. Brainy Beaver. The Romans would build a tunnel through a hill or mountain slope down. Then on the other side of the hill mountain, there would be a pipe up to an aqueduct. Interesting. They would put a tunnel through a hill or mountain, slope down, and then on the other side of the hill or mountain, there would be a pipe up to an aqueduct. Oh, that makes sense. I wonder why they did that like that, though. Was it... You know what? That would make a lot of sense, because if you had a reservoir at the bottom, heavy stuff would drop out. And so that way, by pouring the stuff into a reservoir and then having it go up a little bit, you could make it so all the heavy debris that came out of the riverbed and stuff like that ended up sticking in the bottom, where you could eventually probably clean it out by diverting the water if you had to for a while. And then that would allow only the lighter stuff, unfortunately, but still less debris to float up and go up through the top and then pour into the aqueduct system. It's actually quite clever. I bet you that was the reasoning. Might have been part of it anyways. I'm good. Phuket fucking it up again. Oh yeah, Phuket's always fucking it up. Hey Brainy, how's it going, buddy? Ire, I'm pronouncing that right, I hope. Okay, let's get going again here.
So, how do you model reality?
John Rappin'
well,
out.
Something
Hey
like
John, how you
tabletop
doing, buddy?
Thing where you pour water in at one high level and it will go down along the table horizontally and it will go uphill.
John Rapper, you guys live right now? Is that what's happening? Can someone send Brainy an invite to our chat? Which chat are we talking about here?
Slightly, but it will never, ever, ever go higher than the original level that you poured it in. Won't happen.
Oh, Bella's in the house. I see you there, Bella.
Oh dear! Someone asked me the other day if you had all the resources, you had all the money in the world, you know, to go and prove flat Earth, what would you do? I'd say there's no need. Water proves it. All you've got to do is think about it.
He's like, I wouldn't waste my fucking money proving flat Earth.
Think about all the properties of water. Think about, okay, gravity. The more mass something has, the more gravity is supposed to act on it and create.
Read titles, Christ Puncher. That's what we're watching. Read titles. No, I'm just kidding, buddy. No, we're watching Phuket. Just be Phuket. He's almost done being Phuket, and then we're gonna watch somebody else that's rather stupid, and then I have well, it's the same guy, but he talks two different stupid things.
Create a greater force and therefore create a greater weight. So, you know, 1 million tons of water apparently has, you know, all this force, 1 million tons worth of force acting on it, making it 1 million tons. So, in that case, huge bodies of water shouldn't be going anywhere.
Well, air, I thought of it like, well, yeah, I don't know how ear. I don't know how else you pronounce that. A-Y-E-Y, because E-Y would make a. Because I think of eerie, like eerie. Air. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, you're right. I mean, it could have pronounced differently. That's fair.
Because gravity should be sticking them all in one place. They shouldn't be able to flow. Yeah? It's really simple. You know, you should actually be able to create a column of water.
There we go, water pressure, guys.
You know, you just think about it. You get a tank. The bigger you make this tank, the more water you can hold on it.
Okay, yeah. Tell me about this, Phuket. Tell me all about this understanding of water, okay, and pressure. Tell me.
So, you're all right. You got, you know, 1,000 tons of water in a tank.
All right, 1,000 tons, buddy.
So there's so much gravity pulling all that water.
I thought maybe I was like crazy, but I'm realizing he has like a cracked windshield or something right here, or a chip or something.
Down.
Like a big bug hit the
that you should be able to take the walls away from that container, and ta-da! That 1,000 tons of water will just stay there, pulled down by its own gravity. It won't move.
That's so stupid. I mean, that comment, he has to know that's wrong. There's no way he can't know that that's wrong. And so his argument here is that water because when it's together, and of course it creates a mass, and so that mass pulls down at the same time as the Earth pulls up, and he's surmising that the water should hold itself together. But I mean, unless he has the equivalent amount of mass of water that he has of the planet beside it, it's not going to work out for him. Whichever one has the greatest mass is going to pull down. So, that's he's not wrong. I mean, we all know this, right? That mass is holding together, but it's fucking water. It's like, I left him a comment. We'll let him finish, then we'll read my comment.
It won't spread out.
I think he deletes comments.
because it's such a big mass, gravity's got...
Chucky McNubbin, Phuket Word is the only man in history who failed siphoning fuel out of a car fuel tank. Instead, he drank it. Explains his broken brain. That makes sense, actually. I think you got a good theory.
Such a strong hold on it.
Maybe you like the smell, you know?
But what happens, of course, is the more
he's picking up his kid from school. That's what he's doing, isn't it?
The more
this is where his kid lives.
The more
he rants his way to pick his child up every day.
Out if you release it in any way.
Isn't this where he lost his mind the other day? Whoops! I opened up Audacity.
It is just a total oxymoron.
Yep, this is school.
Totally ridiculous. All right, thank you very much.
Wouldn't want that bitch to hear you talking flat Earth when you get out of the car, would you? She'd be like, maybe we shouldn't release this child to this guy. Hey, do what he said, though. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Right? Not for him, for me. Screw that guy. Anyways, so moving forward, I've got one more. I got another guy to look at here, and he's a lot of fun. So just give me a minute here. Bum, 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 bum. You can hear my beautiful music. I'll just sing to you. It's glorious. I know. I'm great at it, too. Nope, this is the one I want right here. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum. 1 second, be right back. Yeah, his laugh is great, I know. Hey, you guys see that Dan Pratt was saying that's it, he's done with YouTube. He's done with all the bureaucracy and the censorship. And he's gonna be streaming somewhere else. I didn't look, but I bet he's back already. One more second. All right. Set back up here. Whoa, we're back. That was a rough transition. All right, so I like to look at the comments. Oh, we didn't check that comment on his video first. Hold on, we got my comment right here. Let's bring it up. I hear my dog barking. All right. Okay, tell you everybody what. One more second, okay? All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Jeez. My son's little friend was coming by to see if he was around, but Mom and him are not back yet. So, all right. So where were we here? We got. So I left a comment. I said, "You can word salad for 2 hours straight if it won't matter." This is simply making your cognitive deficiencies obvious. You're either a PO or you are grossly misunderstanding how our model works. Also, water is made of disassociate. Oh, I heard that. Bella charge, $5 New Zealand. Thank you, buddy. Just cuz. Aw, you're the best, buddy. Thank you very much. Said also, water is made of disassociated molecules. When it's together, it very much does have weight as a whole. Explain to me why a lot of water has pressure. What causes this pressure, Phuket? If I sit on your chest adding weight, do you feel pressure? Yes. Why? Is it because my mass is pushing down on you? Same principle, right? So clearly water is pushing downwards. I mean, I don't know if that hit his point right on, but I mean, let's face it, I'm just doing that to piss him off. I don't care if he reads it. See, what happens here is his subscribers will read it, and then I get a lot of hate out of it, which is really good. I like it. So, but, okay, so then I found this Zook guy. He's actually got 3.89 thousand subscribers, and I am sick of these damn flurfers that have more subscribers than me. I'm getting tired of it because that's garbage. So it does fill me with hope, because what I'm realizing is that there is room for all of us out there, and that I too can be a real boy one day. I've got more subs than Dan Pratt, I think, last time I checked. So, you know, there's always that. You gotta have more subs than the flat earthers. That's the key. And some of them are huge.
You can do it!
As one step closer to landing on the moon.
He doesn't make any racist remarks, that's for sure, but he plays a little bit of this.
Successfully, the separation from.
I don't want to play too much of that because I'm going to skip it up a little bit, but as you can see,
and has landed successfully.
He just
the
kind
separation took place at 1:16 p.m. today, which is just about 20 minutes ago. We understand that news is just filtering in. The final maneuver of Chandrayaan 2 on this nobody really has done with.
Here we go.
The problem is we don't have the tech. Go to the moon. I'd go to the moon.
They play this stupid video all the time.
The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
Time out. Time out. Hold on a minute. That's so terrible to compare it to a garbage can. We'll tell you what, it's the most advanced garbage can that you've ever thought of owning in your entire life. And it's ridiculous to think that India can't make, I mean, besides, everything comes from China anyways. So, I mean, okay, so India said, I want it to do this, and they paid for something that did that. This isn't exactly like a crazy thing. So for anybody, like whenever they criticize Mexico or any of these countries having a program, it's absolutely absurd to think that they couldn't also do what's starting to become everyday stuff for us. And besides, they failed anyways. They didn't actually land the thing. Didn't it crash? I think they lost contact with it. It tumbled out of control. So, I mean, clearly it's not that easy, is it? Any hints on a strain of kiwis you got? Strain of kiwis you got. Where is it here? Okay, so I left him a comment too, but okay, so I posed the question. The problem I have with this all the time is I say, like, there's things like rope memory that they used to use. Like I said, it failed. So if you're gonna fake something, why would you make it fail, right? I mean, that's the ridiculous thing. They used to use things like rope memory, where they had to actually use some seamstresses, and they would actually like stitch it together, this memory into actual rope, and they'd have to coil it up and like stuff it in there, and that's the best they had for memory at the time. And if they made one mistake while they were stitching this damn stuff together, they had to throw it in the garbage and start again. And so my thing is, I said, how much rope memory does your computer use nowadays? Because I bet you it doesn't use any. Mine uses this thing called DDR3? This crazy thing called RAM memory that we invented, and that it's all the new fad now because all the companies make it. It's really readily available. So I mean, it's just such a juvenile thing to I mean, they also don't build cars. I mean, okay, so get in a car accident in a car that was built in the same era and see what your odds of survival are based on compared to a modern car. And you know, when you come back mangled and you're like, I can't believe all these things happen. You're like, well, yeah, it's all happened. These are all things that we've changed over the years because, you know, technology and stuff. I mean, even simple things like, I mean, they didn't do side curtain airbags. They didn't do any of that stuff. And even like things like OnStar, which I don't have any OnStars, but the ability to, you know, they detect a crash and they could dispatch people to your location and stuff. I mean, all of this stuff is new technology. And so, you know, I ended it with, I said, listen, if you want to get into a pop can and go back to the moon, I'm actually happy to let you. And I'm willing to bet, put a 1 in, there's 92 people in here. Put a 1 in the chat stream if you would also be willing to pitch in a little bit of money to let one of these flat earthers go attempt to go back to the moon in an Apollo capsule. Because, I mean, the first set didn't exactly have stellar performance as far as their success rate. You know, we have people burning on the pad. There's, you know, and then even once they got there, they still didn't manage to keep getting there without problems. We got Apollo 13 and stuff like that. So, like, my thing is, I said, if you want to get inside one of these capsules, I bet we can get a petition together. We could get the resources to stuff your ass inside one of these things and send you back up there. And I said, if you want to go, we could make it happen. I'm willing to guarantee it because all of us would love to see you try. And, you know, like, because that's my thing. Exactly. I see the ones pouring in because that's how I feel about it. And it insults, to me, what bugs me about it is it insults an achievement of human ingenuity. You know, just for them to stand back and say, well, this is fake. It didn't happen. It's like, I mean, okay. I mean, maybe it didn't, I guess. I think it did. But you're also like, so if it did happen and you're going to spend your life basically trying to assault the fact that it happened, you have essentially committed your life to trying to disprove one of the greatest achievements of human history, or possibly the greatest achievement in human history. That I would argue if you found a cure for cancer, that might be the greatest achievement in human history. But anyways, either way, we haven't found a cure for cancer yet, have we? So maybe it still could be the best. But anyways, it's one of the greatest achievements in human history, and it's unlocking the future for our species because there's resources in space that are much more concentrated than on Earth. Brainy Beaver, they would lie and say it was all fake. Well, of course. So the thing you got, I don't know how much you guys know about this, but there's like meteors, like that whole thing about like capturing a meteor and bringing it back for mining. It sounds ridiculous. And it is. Until you find out certain details, like there's meteorites out there or like asteroids out there that are made of diamond. Like the whole thing's made of diamond because it was formed in the right kind of temperatures and the right kind of conditions. And it's like a diamond the size of an Empire State Building. And like, so, okay, so you're a corporation, you go out and you capture one of these things and you bring it back. It costs your corporation $20 billion. Do you not think that you could get $20 billion out of that much diamond? I just don't even think it's pure diamond, essentially. Like the whole core of the thing they think is diamond. And there's other asteroids that are made of like titaniums and like really dense steels and stuff like that. And it's pure already. It's literally already been refined. You'd be cutting steel out of an asteroid and then shipping it down, and coming down with weight's the fucking easy part. Let's face it, going up's the hard part. But you'd literally be cutting steel out and transporting it to Earth and then just remelting it into what you need. You wouldn't have to mine it out of the ground. You want to talk about keeping pollution down on the planet? Holy shit. Like, so, you know, the idea of capturing an asteroid, bringing it back and mining it seems absurd until you find out some of the details of some of the densities of some of the materials out here. Asteroids where the entire cores are made of gold or platinums or, you know, like in abundances that we can't imagine on Earth. Lithium, you look at why China, you know, they can make fun of China going back to the moon all they want. But you know why China wants to go back to the moon? The crust is laced with lithium. On Earth, finding lithium is difficult, and China already controls 80% of the world's lithium supply, or something to that effect. So, citation needed on the steel asteroid. I did read that somewhere, and that is fair, Mark. So, but I do remember seeing the one on the diamond, and again, news articles being news articles, it's probably some sort of misunderstanding and stuff. So that's true. That's true. I could be helping spread misinformation now, and that is a good point. So everybody, and just like everything, you got to take everything everybody says with a grain. I wouldn't necessarily believe me either. Go out and do your own research, because I might have read something and perhaps I'm wrong. One time I told a guy that new Subaru, that little like roadster that came out with a few years ago, I can't remember what it's called, but it's got like the long, it's not like I have a WRX. It's not a WRX or an STI. It's not an Impreza, but they came out with one that has a, it's a 2-person, 2-door. It's like the only 2-door they offer. It's got a long front on it. I think Scion, because they're partly owned by the same company. I think Scion has one that's identical, basically. And I remember being like, man, that thing has like 450 horsepower out of the box, because I've been told that. And then one day I was talking to somebody else. He's like, no, it doesn't. It's like, I'm like, really? He's like, fuck, man. It's lucky if it's got like, I think it had like 180 or something like that, which is not terrible for a light car. But I was like, okay. I was like, so then I felt like, I'm like, this guy's walking around with false information that I handed him. It's garbage. Anyways, we have plenty of lithium in the U.S., but environmental regs keep from mining it. Oh, okay. Well, that could be the case. I know of the accessed lithium in the world, China has like 80% of it. And that is a good point, Mark Beiser, because I was reading a article recently where I guess it was with regards to the trade war, and they were talking about how China is kind of running out of things to tax on America. And they said that one of the things they were afraid that China was going to do was limit lithium to America, which could hurt America because of all the battery production done there. But they said that the last time that China tried that, they tried it with Japan, I think, was it? And Japan teamed up with Australia, and they found other markets and broke the monopoly for China, and then China was left without another buyer. So there are other sources of lithium, and it's probably just that China has cornered the market, first. So, but anyways, the moon crust is fairly rich in lithium, if I'm not mistaken, and it's like readily available. Like it could be like sifted out of the dirt essentially, instead of mined out of the earth in a very dirty process. So my understanding is there is a fair amount of lithium on the moon that they think, anyways. This is what America's going back for. Let's find out what's there, because if you guys go there and you find like a pocket of lithium, you'll be like, mine. You'll be like, Charlie, you're going to stay here and sit on this. We're going to come back for you, okay, bud? He's just going to set him up with an oxygen tank, just sitting there plugged in, ready to go. He's like, no, this is for America. Thank you. I'm just going to hold this spot for my friends. You know, like when you go to the theater and there's like spots in the seats, that's what's going to happen. They'll put the lander, you'll see them dragging the lander over, like putting it right on top of the supply. Like, no. This is a heritage site. This is a fucking heritage site. And it's more the helium one. Well, and the other thing is, it's iron from the meteors, not so much steel. But apparently the abundance of iron, like right now when we get iron, a lot of times you pull a lot of slag and dirt, and we like, we have to like refine a lot of garbage away from it. But apparently the iron is very pure in some of these. But one thing I am aware of that they want the moon for is they believe there's a lot more water locked in that crust than we used to think. And water not only is going to be perfect for moon bases, but it's going to be perfect for making fuel, because you can unlock you can make hydrocarbons from it, right? So that's what that's about. So I mean, the moon is kind of a key to our future traveling in space. Let's face it. So that's going to be a big thing. But we watched this video. But here, this is the satellite one. Here we go. We're gonna make this as how long we've been going here? Holy shit! 1 hour and 10 minutes. How's that even happen? Okay, so I actually didn't know anything about this. I had to look it up. So this will be interesting if you didn't know anything about this. This is this is proof, everybody, that satellites. I got to put it on the screen, I guess. Boop. Proof, everybody, that satellites are just hot air balloons released, flying high in the atmosphere. Okay. Hot air balloons that never change position. They always stay in the same spot forever. I have a satellite dish on the side of my house right now. I haven't changed the direction of that thing since I moved into this house and put it up there on the first weekend I lived here. And I haven't lived here forever, but I can tell you that I have lived here for like 7 years. 6, going on 7. And I haven't moved that dish. So that would be a really, really neat trick. I'd love it. I'd love to see it. You show me how a hot air balloon stays in the same spot for that long and we'll talk.
Never know what's going to happen. This baby fell out of the sky and landed in our yard. It's never boring on the Welkie
Chucky
farm.
McNubbin, that's funny.
Thank God there's no horses out or it didn't hit the house.
Thank goodness, my golly. I'm just bugging you. I'm teasing you, Americans. You guys have a lot of accents. Oh my God, we got to turn that music off. Okay, that's enough of that garbage. I already got claimed. My one stream got claimed by somebody. I had to erase the music. So if you ever see a stream and all of a sudden you notice that there's no live chat, that is why. Yeah, yuck. See, in fact, if you look here, music. See? Idiot. Yeah, he had license to YouTube by. Oh no, it might be okay. I'm not doing it though. So yeah, so there's that. Earth is flat. Flat, guys. Wait, I'm not even good at that. Just gotta lock her in, like tilts up. There we go. I got it. J Doe. Satellites are just holographic projections on the firmament. That's exactly what I was thinking. So your perspective hasn't changed? My perspective hasn't changed. One time, one of the first things I did, this is actually, it's the 23rd of November. Just so everybody knows, we are 2 weeks from my birthday. Yep, 2 weeks from my birthday. And we are actually, I'd have to look at the date, but we are pretty much on the 1-year anniversary of the first video I released. Should we watch that terrible piece of garbage? Maybe we should. Maybe we'll watch that in just a few minutes. That might be a fun way to end the stream. We'll watch my first video ever and just laugh at how terrible it is. Oh yeah, this is over. What am I doing? Okay, so this thing. Okay, so you saw this thing, right? Yeah, let's get back here. Okay, so there's that. Hold on, I'll get you a screen up here. You can see it a little better. There you go. Okay, so there's this thing. There's the parachute, I guess, or no, balloon, I mean. And then, because this says, oops, satellite crashes in front of yard. And I'm like, well, this thing clearly didn't come from space. It's not scorched at all. So I was hoping he was going to make the claim it fell from space or something like that. And I was like, oh, yeah, this will be fun. The Satelloons don't the Satelloons don't move because they're Velcroed to the dome. There you go. I wouldn't do it, Brain Beaver. You've heard what YouTube has done to Matt Lown. I did not hear what they've done to him for no reason. Inform me, please. I'm actually quite interested now. So here's another. What does SJW actually stand for? Snowflakes just whining. That's funny. Yeah, no, for no reason. Tell me what we're. Sorry, I didn't mean if I spiked this. I got a little close to it there. Tell me what we're talking about there. I don't know what see. You shouldn't get too much trouble. Usually, you just get claimed. But you can get struck, and if you had if you had a lot of copyright content, especially from the same person in a lot of spots, they could probably hit you, and they'll hit you hard. But anyways, here, this thing right here, just to finish talking about this thing, okay? So this right here had my curiosities, and I don't know how well you can see it. Color box maybe on you? It's a little bigger. It says space selfie, okay? Space selfie right there. So I was trying to figure out what this was, and I found out it was, now, news stations are notorious for claiming, so we were going to try to be very abrupt.
GMA was a near miss for a mission. ABC's Trevor Alt is here to explain. Trevor, good morning.
Samsung space tech that had crash landed but seemed to still be functioning in their front yard.
So, yeah, that's, this was, okay, so the way this worked is, I can actually show you right here. Here we go. So basically the idea was it flew up
in space.
The phone hitting the stratosphere, then Saginaw County.
So the idea was supposed to be that I guess you send your you send your picture up to this phone. You like tweet it at it or text it at it, and it would like send your photo up into space. Like it was a hot air balloon, right? So it was like, I guess they said 65,000 feet. Somebody tell me if that's bullshit, because I didn't look up what a legitimate altitude for one of those high altitude balloons would be, but I guess the idea was they put it up to like 65,000 feet, and then you were basically right in the stratosphere. And so it had you can't see on that shot, but I found another photo of it where it has a picture. It had like a TV on the front of it, like a big screen TV. So I guess the idea is that that's what it was. It was basically taking like a photo of the planet. So what it would do is it would send your photo up that you sent it. It would take like a picture of the planet and then emboss your picture onto the picture of the planet and then send the photo back down. So you could get a picture, your selfie, like with the picture of the Earth behind you or something like that from that altitude. So it was, it's a neat idea, I guess. But so this thing came down a little early. This is, their statement is right here.
Company saying in a statement, weather conditions resulted in an early soft landing in a selected rural area. The gear had...
I mean, the reality is that this was a simple Google machine search. This was never intended to be a satellite. I mean, they would have found out that... But, like, I mean, listen, if I find a squirrel wearing tap dancing shoes, then that clearly means that every squirrel in the world has tap dancing shoes, right? Is that what that means? You guys can work that analogy any way you want. Do some other ones. That'll be fun. If I find, I don't know. That's boring. Anyways, yeah. You know what? That'll be fun. Let's watch my oldest video. I'm gonna look at when. Dum. Here we go. Here we'll do this. Gonna turn that on. We'll turn this back on. We'll turn a little bit of music on here. I think that'll work. Ah, there we go. Hey, aw, it's not attached to the music stream. Boo, boring. Put the planet back, everybody says. We want the planet. We want the planet. That's how you're supposed to work that. Music brought to you by no copyright sounds on YouTube. And that is apparently free to use, and so far I haven't been tagged yet. I'm just supposed to put that in my description, and that is down below. Remember, any social media tags, you want to find me on Twitter, you want to find me on Facebook, which I don't really do much on, I won't lie. I try to avoid Facebook. I think it's the plague. In all regards, but that's fine. So I mean, I have an account on there, so people could find me anyways if they have to. But you know, get Twitter, Patreon, all that stuff's down below. But let me dig up my oldest videos here, and I think that's how we're gonna celebrate my 1 year here. Because let me look. I'm gonna tell you right now when my 1 year was. We're gonna find out as a group. Okay. Scrolling back. I'm scrolling back. Let's go right to the end. Oh my god, that'll demonetize me for sure. It's transvestigations. I don't know if we should do that one. Apparently it's monetized. How is that even possible? Screw it, transvestigations it is. Does anybody want to see transvestigations? Okay, so... I will legitimately ask the stream if that's something that you want to see, and the only reason is because that's an odd topic. Put 1 if you want to see transvestigations, or if you want to, it's only 7 minutes long, or if you want me to find something slightly different than that. Because the next option would be Ranty Flat Earth Atmosphere Pressure Challenge Debunk. That's where he's filling his tire with air and telling us that like you can't have atmosphere without container. So that would be 2. So say 2 if you want Ranty Flat Earth Pressure Debunked, his pressure without a container, or if you want Todd L. Okay. Todd L doesn't know what transvestigations are, everybody. Maybe you could all tell him. Todd, it's for the craziest of the crazies, and okay, so it's when the dumbest of the dumb. I mean, this is old though, so you gotta appreciate Vroom. This is like, if somebody comes in while I'm playing this, I'm probably not gonna gain a subscriber. They're gonna be like, this is garbage. So that's how I feel about it. That's how most content creators feel about their first stuff. But I'm still happy to put it on. There was a lot of progress there in the winter, but then they kicked in that flat Earth stopping stuff, and man, the views dropped off. Heard about it. Yeah, it's okay. So this is Hans. This is my first interaction with Hans, and he is a nut bar. But here, I'll bring this up. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll just drag the video in here once I get it right. No, not that one. Ah, not that one. Wrong window. Damn it! It keeps grabbing the wrong window on me. Give me a second, guys. There we go. Left window. There we go, everybody. All right, you asked for it. Oh, wait. I didn't tell you when 1 year was. Hold on, we gotta look that up. We gotta look at when 1 year was. Let's find out when my true. Oh, this is the wrong spot I went to. I went to uploads. Oops. Okay, let's see. When was my first upload ever, everybody? And this is it, just so you know. Okay, apparently my 1 year is December 2nd, so you're getting an early 1 year celebration teaser of, well, this is nothing teaser. I guess I didn't realize I'm only a week away from a 1 year. I should plan something. That's exciting. All right, well, here you go. Let's turn off the music. We'll turn off that window. Boom, and here you go. This is going to be a terrible experience for me. I hope you realize that this is going to be painful for me, okay? This isn't going to be a joyous thing for me, because I think I've like resisted watching some of these early things. All right, well, you asked for it. Oh, no sound. Oh, next video. I'm an idiot.
Alert thing. So here.
Hans, where I'm at.
Alert thing. So here. 777. This is actually what this video is going to focus on.
Oh yeah, it was a numerology transvestigation.
You're a tranny.
Wow, that got off to a quick start. Today we're going to look at the...
I think my mic got better. I don't remember if I had... I might not have... What was I using? I wasn't using this mic, clearly. That sounds like shit.
Channel Conspiracies by Hans 3. Hans here is what we like to call a tranny sniffer. He sniffs trannies any chance he gets. So let's go watch him sniff for some trannies and see what kind of scientific method he's using.
Yeah, it's like
if you put 777 in your username or your email or whatever, you're just a freaking tranny. And I don't
95 likes. Come on, whoever hasn't hit like. We're gonna get 100. Come on.
Well, 666 is
100 likes in the stream, guys.
Is the number of the beast. So 777 is, they'll say it's like an angelic number, or it's a good. Where did Jesus go around telling us to number code and that good numbers? And
I found his new channel.
All of this gematria stuff, all of this number coding, it's not what we're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to put 777 at the end of your username.
Awesome how the guy that rips on people for seeing signs and numbers is sitting here talking about sevens and trannies.
Kind of a fun thing to do. Send anonymous emails.
There's not as much visual going down in this video. I won't lie to you.
Anyways, I did that, and in the process, I was not surprised that
this is the classic
my
Beaver.
old astronomy teacher's email. It had 777. It ended with 77.
That Beaver was stolen.
They're tranny.
I didn't want to get called from Dreamstein.
Sometimes they'll just straight up evil. Look at these. So these people are all around you. What this video is? These are just people's usernames from online. Evil PhD 666. How often do you actually read the usernames of people online? You need to start doing that. You'll see that you're surrounded by these satanic trannies. Butterfly 6656. So anything like this, why would you put 6656 after your name? It means something to this person. Butterfly, of course, is one of their favorite symbols. But if you do add all these numbers up, 12, 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 5 is 17, plus 6 is 23, and 23 can be thought of as 2 3s or 33. So this could be a coded 33.
Hey, there is nothing to these 7s at all. You do not know what you're talking about. And I'm offended right now, okay?
Red Baron Man 777 talking to Little Trash Panda 77. They have conversations with one another because they know. That's why do they put their codes? It's because that's how they communicate. They communicate with signs and symbols. So they communicate with one another online without us knowing because they have their signs and symbols.
So what you're telling me is that you honestly believe that they speak openly in the public forum in secret by using 7s in their usernames instead of just picking up their smartphone and downloading Signal app maybe for free, and then they could speak encrypted to each other where they're not in the public forum. I mean, it's almost like you're spinning bullshit and you don't know what you're talking about.
I don't sound nearly as excited as I do now. Jeez, how melancholy can I get? See, I told you this was going to be more painful for all of you than it is going to be for me. It was going to be more painful. That could be true, actually. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is more painful for you than it is for me. But I don't think it is. It's like when you listen to yourself on an answering machine and you feel like wringing your own neck. You're like, my God, that's me? Why didn't you tell me?
But honestly, what I'd prefer to talk about is the fact that you have some sort of issue that has you seeking trannies. Because, I mean, that's not a normal behavior. The rest of us don't walk around looking at people going, I mean, look at that guy. Look at this person. Oh, 7s everywhere. 6s, 5s, 2s, 3s, 1s, 2s and 3s.
Oh, no, we offended multi-tom-tom.
This and 5 of
Sorry,
this,
buddy.
And, 15 of that. And,
this is my old stuff. Make sure you go hit dislike, buddy.
Just stop.
The Last Crusader 777. Oh, look, that's my buddy. Another tranny. Moosey 999. 999 is an upside down 666. 777. 77. 77, 77. 7777. Light Night. They like things with light, illumination. The Illuminati. Remember? Russian bot 3773. Oh. Those are numbers they like. I'm going to take a break right now and talk about this. How often are you scanning YouTube comments and you see this comment was posted 33 minutes ago? So I run a channel, and so I see comments all the time. I'm checking all the time for comments.
It's like 33 UC all over again.
This comment's 33 seconds old. I see that all the time. Why 33 seconds old? Why is the counter even counting in very specific seconds?
I'll tell you, this young whippersnapper,
that
he's
was
on
the first info beef.
The other day I was just cruising around on the internet, and I was looking into some information about Hillary, and I found out that they're turning the frogs gay. They're turning the frog gay. But here at the Info Beef, we have the information you're looking for. False flag information, trannies and 7s. It's a kindergarten conspiracy. I tell you, they started early. They start teaching them their 1s, their 2s, their 3s. Next thing you know, they're getting all the way to 23s and 2s and 3s. I mean, that's the conspiracy, boys and girls. I mean, it's right there in front of you. Right from day one. From day one, they've been doing it to us.
A bunch of FDM training tryhards. Look, another 777.
The introduction of the Info Beef set, and now I've modified it for my own
order out of
purposes.
chaos. They love chaos. CC 33. Jeff K 3. K is 11. So 11, 3 is 33. The way I easily remember that K is 11 is KKK. Is 11,
oh
11,
my
11.
God. 3. It's any number they can surmise. It was like when we were debating Russian vids, me and Fight the Flat Earth were debating Russian vids and 33 UC, or was it? Yeah, it was 33 UC, wasn't it? And he was like, they showed a Star Trek door, like a Star Trek convention. It had a 3 on it behind Shatner, and they said, "What number is that?" And I'm like, 3, and they're like, 33, and I'm like, in what goddamn world is 3 checks a 33? And it was John Rapp. I wonder if you know what I'm talking about there. That was too funny. Don't worry, I should make a shirt that says saltwater's highly magnetic.
3, and also K9, like, you know, K9, they write it on the cars.
Is he playing with fucking tinfoil?
Like the letter K.
He's clearly
9.
making his hat.
So that's 11-9 or 9-11.
He's making a hat. Oh, that's me. That's right.
K is the 11.
Never mind.
All right, we're almost done. Let's just finish up. Hippie Hunter 7. I like that one. It's kind of ambiguous. Is it an FTM who's hippie?
This is funny. I don't even remember how this video goes.
Oh, you're still here. So don't mind me. I was just making my new hat. Do you like my new cover for my hat? Anyways, suffice to say, I think you guys have got the picture here. There's a lot of 7s, a lot of 2s and 3s and 3s and 2s and 3s and 3s and 7s and 6s and 5s, and apparently every single number can add up to a 3 or a 7, and trannies are all around us. So there you have it. A conspiracy by Hans 3, and, trannies are abound. So I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll catch you guys next time. Take it easy.
So Conspiracies by Hans 3 has been deleted. Conspiracies by Hans 4 has been deleted. Conspiracies by Hans 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 have all been deleted since I did this video. And now he's on to... I am subscribed to him, so just give me a second. See if we can't find him here. Let me see what he's named here. One second. I get the right window up here. Wrong window. Hans Wormhat. That's all he named the channel now. It's Hans Wormhat. He just keeps getting all his channels deleted, so he makes new channels. Like, he posts so much, too. Like, this one day ago, 2 days, 3 days, like... Yeah, it's crazy shit. Approach with caution. Zebras are stripy horses?
With stripes on top and underneath and on his left and right.
I'm pretty sure that's copyright, though. Just so you know. Here, hold on.
A zebra is a stripy horse.
So, yeah, anyways, it's got some pretty funny pictures, though. Like them using zebras as horses. But, I mean, that's okay. So there was rich people riding zebras. It's a shocker. It's just another one of those, like... apparently somebody sneaks into the zoo every day and stripes up all the horses so that they look like zebras, I guess. That he's one of these people. Like, platypuses... Okay, so anybody who's seen my live stream start, if you've wondered why I have a platypus, it's this guy. Because he said that platypuses are just beavers with... beavers are just... No, it was platypuses. Platypuses are just beavers with prosthetics glued onto them. That every morning they go into the zoo and they glue the prosthetics on the platypuses. And he's like, when was you ever seen a platypus, But then he doesn't believe Australia is real, so that's his problem, isn't it? So, anyways, there's all that. Yeah. So, anyways, we're probably going to close her up pretty soon. I don't really have much else to talk about today. If there's anything crazy that happened in the world of Flirth and whatnot, feel free to please tell me about it. Put it in the live chat. I have a Discord. Links are in the description. If you're not on the Discord, make sure you get in the Discord. I've been trying to be in there more frequently. I've been getting my own mindset into making sure I'm in my own Discord because, it's like anything. We're all busy and it's hard to make sure you're doing that, right? So if you're not in there, make sure you're in there. There's a spot in there where it says Leave It to Beaver, or there's Meme It to Beaver, Leave It to Beaver. There's a bunch of different spots there, but basically one of them, it looks like it's a spot where, I can't remember, I think it's Leave It to Beaver, where you can like leave me video suggestions or just really stupid things you come across that are funny, things to talk about on live streams and things to make videos about and stuff. So feel free to do that for me. It definitely helps a lot when there's a lot of other eyes out there curating a little bit and helping find some of that real crazy stuff. Because it just helps a lot. It cuts down on the amount of time I have to really look for the craziest of the crazy, because you'd be surprised. Some nights it's kind of tiring. You just listen to the stupidest shit all day long, and it's really trying to find something that's stupid enough to really laugh at and have some fun with, right? So that's probably why we're all gripping onto that flat Earth mania for so long there, you know, or the FEIC, right? Because it's kind of like it's a drama show, right? And so we all want to have our little piece of drama. But yeah, so I see some comments coming in. So make sure if you want to say anything to me, make sure you get some comments in. Brainy Beer, have you seen that guy that thinks most of the countries are fake? I don't know if I may have. I've seen people that, like, even this Hans guy thinks that population's a hoax. Like, population hoaxing, like, there isn't this many people on the earth, as many as they say, and it's all bullshit. Like, I drive with my wife for hours. I mean, you always pass the same cars. I mean, you know, you pull over, you stop somewhere, but even sure enough, half hour later, you know, if they're passing you, so you're passing the same cars. I'm like, well, yeah, you're all traveling the same fucking direction, you idiot. I do the same thing. You pass and say, fucking look at the same BMW. Like, you know, it's just, sometimes you get a headache from it. I mean, legitimately. Tom, hey, buddy. You have no career without FE. Hey, Tom, I got a secret for you, buddy. Russian Vidiot. Oh, you had me for a second there, buddy. Tom, I got a secret for you, buddy. I have a career that doesn't involve your stupid ass. But thanks for feeling so important in my life. I really appreciate you thinking that you're so special. Some people might not have a career. I will admit that Flight to Flat Earth would possibly not have what he considers now his career without you, and that's fair. But don't think you're so important that I need you, Tom. I was doing fine without you. I'll do fine without you in the future. You could go away tomorrow, and I would have forgotten you existed, to be honest with you, until you came in here. I don't mean it cruelly. I just mean it honestly. You're putting yourself on quite a pedestal, buddy. But yeah, so let's see, we got... You want weirder things than people in photos with Basil, oh my god. Just subscribed. Basil Vakakamat. Oh wow, you're gonna have to break that into syllables for me, bro. But thank you very much. Oh, and then Bella, I see that coming through. FTFE is an e-beggar. I'll be honest with you, Malty. I've never seen him beg. I've seen him take donations, like the one that I'm about to take from Bella Charge, sorry, buddy, for 5 New Zealand, and he says, "Good stream. Thank you very much, Bella. You're the most generous person I've seen in a while. You're one of the more generous people I've seen in a while. I need to make sure not to insult my other generous, the other people that have been generous. I've got to be careful how I choose my words too, because everybody's important." Even you, Malty, you're here watching, and you know what? You're important to me, too. Sad NASA shill. You got Russian Vidiots calling you out here, buddy. Hey, Malty. Yes, that Malty telling you were special. His mom told him he was special. You can't blame the guy for growing up this way. I mean, he was told that he was a very important butterfly, and it's hard to break those people free of that, you know? I was watching something that was funny. It was I think it was from 2017. It was a seminar with Become a Patron. Oh, Lord. Hey, Malty. I've never begged somebody to become a patron. $1.99. 1 equals 1/3 plus 2/3. 1/3 equals 0.33. 2/3 equals 0.666. Numbers are evil. There you go. It's so true. Numbers are the devil. That's actually a good point. See, Tom, if you notice that Robert Williams there didn't mind doing that because I've come out here and I've given him some entertainment and I've had a fun time with them and I've been just having fun. So are they, hopefully, which is why they've done that. And so I really appreciate it, Robert and anybody else and everybody watching and everything. But Malty, to say that we're begging is, that's a little bit of a far-fetched. So, I mean, I would, I don't even know what to say about that, to be honest with you. You caught me off guard with that one because it's kind of so out of touch with what's happening here. Oh, sorry, late for this. Can I be special too? John Rapp, Australian $5. I appreciate it, buddy. Oh my God, I've made $33 Canadian, everybody. That's it. Malty, In fact, we need to shut her down right there, because if I make any more money, this stream won't be evil anymore. Okay, so we got to stop there. $33 before YouTube takes their cut. Don't worry, that's probably going to turn into more like 20. They take about a third off of super chat, so that's 20 something. But that's not the point. All I'm getting at is that the evil number 33. Oh my goodness, what are we going to do, everybody? Mark Visor, set up the slots module in Streamlabs. Oh, I didn't realize that I didn't have slots. Well, okay, so tell you what, I'll have everybody watching. If you were trying to hit the slots, I thought I saw somebody say more commands, and that's what you were talking about. I get it. Okay, I get it. I'll next stream I will have the slot set up. It's a matter of me just turning it on. We'll get some slots going for you guys. What if someone gives you $33 more at Brainy Beaver? Then I will be rich. Well, I mean, I'll be richer than I am right now, because, but yes, that would be 66. But I think but at that point, don't I need, see, it becomes not evil anymore, because it's just 66. But I mean, I could take 33, I could take 66 and divide it by 2, and then it becomes 33, which is evil. In fact, it becomes 2 33s, which is twice as evil, right? Because then I've got 33 and 33. So then if we put them together, we got 33, you see what I mean? we could spread this to whatever level we want, right? Obviously we're powering down right now. I'm just chatting with the stream before we call her, guys. Well, what if someone gives, oh no, I'm still reading the same one. Okay, well, the chats are slowing down. Multi-Tom-Tom, you got quite a channel. Rich beyond my tamest dreams. At Brainy Beaver, it is on, but you have to set up the combos for everyone, just automatically loses. Oh, really? Oh my god, you guys have just been losing? Shit. Okay, everybody, stop hitting the slots. Quick, there's a bug in the machine. I just blew your mind. See what I mean? You can make anything out of anything there, Basil, aka Matt. I see it, aka Matt. I got you, buddy. Anyways, yeah, nobody hit the slots. I just found out the machine's rigged. That's it. The gaming commission's coming to get me. I've just been collecting your points the entire time and amassing a fortune of them in the back. I'm going to dive into the points like Scrooge McDuck. Anyways, okay, I'm going to shut her down. Now we're just going in circles. We're starting to purge some people here. Oh my God, 666 NANA. I can't believe you slipped in before I shut her down. You're so crazy. Multi-Tom-Tom, favorite number, Heil Satan. Tom-Tom, you're good for business. You should come back, buddy. I love you. I really appreciate you coming by, Tom-Tom. Deep down, I think you wanna get out of the flat Earth. That's why you come to all our streams. I think you're looking for a reason, buddy. We'll hold your hand. Beaver blows all right. Oh, I'm so damaged. Brainy Beaver comes in and hits the slots. No, I'll make sure I get in there and I'll adjust the numbers. I didn't realize that if you don't set it up, it's like a straight loss for everybody. So 106 likes. Okay, last time I'll mention it. That's amazing, guys. But if you haven't hit like, make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Don't be afraid of commenting on my streams afterwards. I know that if you've watched it, it's kind of pointless to you. But if you do comment, it does help. And share, subscribe, like. I'm on Twitter, all that stuff. Everybody, I'm going to leave. We're going to wave. Say bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Just always remember, I'm about 15 seconds ahead of you. So if you try to slide a last super chat in, it might end up being behind me leaving always. So it happened to me the other day with Fight the Flat Earth. I sent them $2 and I said something to JM, but it was like they disappeared on me. I was like, no. But so anyways, Tom is already a Glober. He must be. I believe it. Anyways, thanks for coming, everybody. Bye-bye. See you later. We're going to go out on the Beaver boat. Or no, wait. Beaver House Productions. Ah.